No, because why am I about to cry? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie if you've never been here before, and on this channel I upload whatever I want. Today I'm going to be uploading my next installment of my Tackling the TBR series. I just finished reading Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, so if you guys want to see my thoughts on that book as well as the other book that I picked for the last episode, then please go check out the last episode. If you're new here and you haven't seen any of the Tackling the TBR episodes before, then I do have a playlist on my channel with all of the previous episodes. I recommend going to find the first episode because that is where I talk about kind of my rules as well as what exactly I'm even doing here. Ultimately, I just have a ton of books on my shelves that I either really want to get to or I don't really want to read, but I just feel like I need to give them a chance. Some books I have had on my shelves for at least like 7-8 years, and others I have purchased within the last like 6 months, but I have compiled all of the titles of the books into one bag. This is a Jellycat bag that I'm using. It is very full. I only had about 51-ish physical books to begin with on my shelves, which I'm still only counting those ones for this challenge, but there were about 460, a little less than that, slips of paper. So you're probably wondering, how does that add up? I have taken inspiration from a few different creators, both on TikTok and YouTube. I credited them in my first episode, so please go check that out. But it's kind of like Hunger Games reaping style. So the amount of years it has been since a book was published is the amount of entries that they have in the bag. I'm ready to pull my next slip. I'm really scared because there are some books on my shelves that I just, one, don't want to read, but two, are a little bit older and I have other books that I really want to read. So it's fine, we'll just get to it. There might be some titles that you see on my shelves that won't be pulled because they are like pretty recent purchases within the last like 4 months since I've started this series. I actually started this series on the 4th of July. So there are some books that you will see that won't be in here because I'm not necessarily trying to get to those right now. I'm really trying to get to the ones that have been on my shelves for a really long time. I have one. The Bridgerton series. The Bridgerton series. Okay, we have a little bit of a problem. I do have the next Bridgerton book. It's actually not the next Bridgerton book. It's just one of the Bridgerton books because I do not own. Do I want to read the second one? I think I do. So maybe I won't read this one. I don't know, guys. What should I do? Because, I mean, technically these can be read out of order. This is the only other Bridgerton book I own. This is When He Was Wicked, which is Francesca's story. Should I read this one? The whole point is my physical TBR. So I think this is the next Bridgerton book I'm going to read. All of the other Bridgerton books that I don't own, I think they're just not going to count towards this. Like, I will read them later on, I'm sure. But this is just this is the next Bridgerton book that I physically own, so this will be the next read. So the first book of this episode is When He Was Wicked, which is a book in the Bridgerton series. This is actually the 6th book, so I'm missing 4 more books before this one, but because I've already read the first one in a previous episode. Go check it out. So yeah, I don't really care that I'm reading these out of order. I really don't. So okay guys, this isn't too bad. It could have been worse. I got home a little bit ago and I'm gonna start making dinner. Ryan is at work, but I have an update for you. I have been reading the next Bridgerton book a little bit today. I got to page 49. So it is definitely starting to pick up and I'm actually really wanting to read. So I'm happy that I got some reading done because I feel like this video should start picking up a little bit better. I'm excited for that because, I mean, I just really like keeping the momentum going with this series, but also with my reading. I did reach my Goodreads goal. I actually passed it. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in a previous video, but if I didn't, I am now at 27 out of 24 books, so I'm reading my 28th book. The projection of books that I read should be, I have 5 books to read in November, at least another book in December is 6, so what is that? I should be at least at 33 books by the end of the year, which means my goal for next year will be upped by at least 10. Another thing that I'm not sure if I've mentioned is I only up my Goodreads goal every year by 1 book, and I've been doing that since I got Goodreads. So if I read 18 books one year, then the next year I try to read 19. So me passing my goal by that much has been really fun and exciting. But yeah, I did want to talk a little bit before I start making dinner about my thoughts so far. I'm actually really enjoying this. I think I'm enjoying it more than The Duke and I, but that might be because I watched The Duke and I before I watched this season, because obviously the season is not out yet. And so like I'm just like, I'm anticipating everything that's coming next, and I'm like really excited. I'm already predicting that I'll like the book more than I will like the next season of the show. Just saying, I feel like it's going downhill. That's my unpopular opinion, or maybe my popular opinion, because I've seen a lot about it on TikTok. But yeah, I am enjoying the book, so I'm excited to keep going. I don't know when I'll update you guys next. But I'm enjoying reading it physically, so I don't really want to pick up the audiobook either. So I don't know. The goal is, if I set a goal to finish this by, maybe it would be, we do have a 3-day weekend this week, and I only work a half day tomorrow, so maybe by like Monday. That's kind of ambitious, but we will see how much I read over the weekend. Then I would have like another week to read my next book, because I do want to say hi to Bonnie. I also haven't announced this yet, but Bonnie had their first pet visit. I'm saying there because it has been revealed to us that Bonnie is actually a boy, not a girl. So it really doesn't matter that much. He's a cat, but this is my 3rd pet that's a boy in the house. I'm the only girl. And I thought I had my little princess baby, but it's okay. Bonnie's still my baby. Anyways, I should start looking at dinner to see like how long it's gonna take, but I might start listening to an audiobook, maybe not. I kind of want to watch YouTube. I've been definitely on my YouTube kick lately, but I do want to have dinner ready by the time Ryan gets home, so I think I'm gonna stop this clip. Good morning, beautiful people. I have not updated you on When He Was Wicked, which I don't even have the physical book with me. I have not been giving good updates. I'm practically finished with the book. I'm pretty much finished with the book. I am in the middle of the 2nd epilogue, but I do want to update you before I finish, but basically I am finished. Let's just ignore that. If I can compare it to the first Bridgerton book, which I've only read 2 of the books now, and they're not in order, but I did read the first one, The Duke and I. If I could compare the 2, I would say I really like this book, which is the 6th, I believe, a lot more than the first book, and I enjoyed the first book. But the tension, if you are a tension pining girly, the 6th Bridgerton book, When He Was Wicked, is for you, okay? I don't want to give any spoilers, but the tension kept me reading. After a certain point, I couldn't put it down. All right, I was in the middle of updating you guys on my thoughts on When He Was Wicked, and then I got embarrassed because somebody parked right next to me, and I'm just too shy to be filming. So I just wanted to continue my updates. I'm really liking it. I'm liking the tension. And I'm also liking how it's not giving into the relationship so easily. It's like really thought out. I'm trying not to give spoilers, but the characters are not just like meet cute and love because it's easy. Once again, I was walked in on. I got really shy. So I'm on my lunch now, which actually 25 minutes of it has already gone by, but this teacher has prep and recess right after. So as a sub, I basically have lunch for an hour and a half. So I still have an hour until I need to go pick up the kids. So I'm gonna eat my lunch and I'm going to maybe read. I know this isn't a subbing vlog, so those of you here for like the TBR challenge, just stick with me, but maybe I'll listen to the last part of the epilogue right now while I'm eating lunch. I am liking I feel like I'm just repeating myself at this point, but I think I like Julia Quinn's writing. Like, I don't have any issues with things being cringy or anything, and so that's one thing that I'm looking forward to in continuing the series. I don't own any, so if I pull another Bridgerton slip out of the bag, I don't know what I'm gonna do at that point. I need to look over my list again and see what my plan was for that, because I don't really remember, but I will be continuing for sure. I don't want to give my final rating yet because that's for the end of this video, but I am enjoying her writing and I'm interested to see, like, outside of the Bridgerton series what other books I can possibly get into, because I do really like her writing. Like, one thing about me is I cringe very, very easily, and that makes me want to like either DNF books or rate them very low. Like Wattpad type writing, I'm sorry, it is very, very easy to get through and finish books quickly and fly. Like bingeable books are Wattpad type writing, but they don't, like, I don't know, it's just like cringe to me, and most of the time that's not what I'm looking for. So I am excited that I have found another author, or that there's another author in my repertoire, is that the right word? Another author in my bank of authors that I know that I won't cringe when I read their books for the most part. I enjoy their writing. So anyways, that's the update on When He Was Wicked. I wish I had more to tell you, but I am so excited to get into my next book, which you guys don't know yet, but for you it's gonna be like 5 seconds. But for me, I'm gonna take a little bit of time to eat and probably finish When He Was Wicked, and then I'll get into telling you guys what my next book is, because I'm so excited. I'm back, guys. I'm so excited to start my next book, but I did finish When He Was Wicked. You're gonna have to stay tuned to the end of this video to see my final thoughts and reviews, but I'm just so excited to get into my next book. This next book, you can probably tell by my reaction, my expression, but this next book I'm gonna be kind of cheating. As you know from previous videos, if you've seen them, I am trying to complete the Buzzword Readathon Challenge. I believe I have, let's see, let's pull out the list. Let's actually pull out the list. I still have June, which is tomorrow, for repeating words. I have July, which is measurement. And I have October, which is relationship. And then December. But December I'm not worried about right now because it's not December yet, okay? So I have 3 books that I would like to finish this week. And this next book is one of them. Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I'm so excited to read this. In one of my vlogs from this summer, I bought this book and then I told you that I wanted to bring it on our bestie trip. So that was back in June for the prompt, actually. And I never got to it, but now this is the next book. It's technically cheating because I didn't randomly pull it out of my Jellycat bag, but it is still on my physical TBR, so it is knocking one of the books off. This is my next book. I'm gonna start it right now. I have about like 15-20 minutes until I need to go pick up the kids. I can probably read for about 15 minutes, and then I do need to go to the bathroom before I pick them up. So I'm gonna just get a little head start on this. I'm so excited. If you don't know what this book is about, I guess I can read a little synopsis. You can skip through this if you don't really care, but the blurb says, on a bitter cold day in the December of his junior year at Harvard, Sam Masseur exits a subway car and sees, amid the hordes of people waiting on the platform, Sadie Green. He calls her name. For a moment she pretends she hasn't heard him, but then she turns and a game begins, a legendary collaboration that will launch them to stardom. These friends, intimate since childhood, borrow money, beg favors, and before even graduating college, they have created their first blockbuster, Ichigo. Overnight, the world is theirs. Spanning 30 years from Cambridge to Venice Beach, Tomorrow, Tomorrow, Tomorrow is a dazzling novel that examines the multifarious nature of identity, disability, failure, the redemptive possibilities in play, and above all, our need to connect, to be loved, and to love. Yes, it is a love story, but it is not one you've read before. I'm so excited for this. I read The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry a couple years ago now. I believe it was like 2 years ago now, which is crazy. And I loved it, 5 stars. And I am so excited to read this because this is by the same author. So yes, they are very small margins and kind of small words, but I love how floppy it is. Guys, I'm so excited to read this. I am going to try to read this as fast as possible. So I'm really hoping that it just like grabs my attention and I can just keep going and going and going, because as you know, I'm trying to finish the Buzzword Readathon Challenge, which I know it's doable, but am I going to be able to accomplish what I want to accomplish by the end of the month? I don't know. Super excited to get into this. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to start reading tomorrow. Alright guys, I've only been reading for about 15 minutes since I got home, but I wanted to update you guys. I'm on chapter 2 now. I want to be better about updating for tomorrow compared to how I was for when he was wicked, because I really feel like this book is going to be 5-star. So far, I really am enjoying this. I'm only 1 chapter in, 13 pages in. I'm starting chapter 2 right now. But I'm getting the same feeling that I got when I read Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore by Robin Sloan, which was a 5-star read for me, and it's one of my favorite books ever. It was like my introduction to like very minimal magical realism, and I really like, I genuinely think that's my favorite genre of books. Just general like fiction, just a general fiction story that has a touch of magical realism. I don't know if that's going to be included in this, but I'm getting that vibe, and I'm so excited. Like, I want to finish this tonight. There's no way, but I want to finish this like as soon as possible. So I'm going to keep reading. I've only been reading for about 15 minutes since I got home. My plan is to actually read for another hour and 45 minutes too, until it's time to start making dinner, and then we'll see what happens from there. But I'm just loving this. Like, I really am. The writing is just sucking me in. And there's also like, I don't know, I'm coming across words that I'm like, ooh, what does that mean? Like, just trying to, like, I feel like my brain is growing. And I've only been reading it for 12 minutes. So I'm so excited to see where this goes. I don't know if you have read Tomorrow. I don't think this is a spoiler because it's literally on the back that a game begins. But he just ran into Sadie, who is his friend from childhood. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'll update you guys when something big happens or with after the 2 hours is up. But yeah, I'm very hopeful for this. I got to page 60. I am now on part 2. If you don't know, this book is split into parts and chapters, so I just got to part 2. It's titled Influences, and it is chapter. Well, I guess the chapters also change every part, so I'm about to start chapter 1 of part 2, but I am loving it. If you have read Tomorrow, and you want to know my type of reading, my reading preference, like just like no faults, the setup for the plot that we're about to be taken on for this book, first 60 pages, my cup of tea, my jam. Okay, if you have read a book with similar setup, similar writing to Gabrielle Zevin's writing, please comment down below so they can be added to my Goodreads, because just the first 60 pages alone is like enough for me to just want to keep reading. And it reminds me so much of Robin Sloan. If you guys have not read anything by Robin Sloan yet, which I was just reminded, I think a new book came out. One of his new books came out. That, or it's about to. I think it came out a couple months ago though. I need to find it. Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore and the book Sourdough, those two books by Robin Sloan were both 5 stars for me. That world, that type of setup and world building and just world in general, from what I can see, is this, guys. If you like the setup for Tomorrow, I can't say anything. I can't say anything about the rest of the book because I'm only 60 pages in. But if you like the setup for this book, please go read one of Robin Sloan's books. Especially, okay, my book lovers out there, Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. If you like books about books, that, yes, okay? That's all I can say so far. I'm obsessed. I want to devour this, but at the same time savor every word. I knew it. Like, I knew I would enjoy this. I can't say too much. I'm only 60 pages in, but if nothing changes, like, this is going to be displayed like this on my shelf. Like, I just can't. Anyways, I need to start making dinner. I could go on and on and on about the first 60 pages of this book, but I need to start making dinner. So I can't wait. Like, I cannot wait to continue this. Hi guys. It is Wednesday now. It's been a couple days. I look a little rough. I woke up with a bad headache and it kind of just hasn't gone away. I've tried taking ibuprofen for it. I'm drinking coffee, but it's not going away. I want to get back into the swing of reading. I have no updates really. I read a little bit last night. I'm on page 72. And so I really want to make progress in this. It's 2 o'clock. I don't necessarily want to set any goals because all the goals that I'm setting I'm not reaching. So I just kind of want to read as much as I want to read today, which the good thing is I really want to read. So I'm gonna sit down and read until I just no longer can, until I have no attention span anymore. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll update you and see how much progress I make. Anyways, so we are just having like a cozy day. It's my first day of my Thanksgiving break. I'm so excited. I have today, tomorrow, and Friday off, and then obviously the weekend. So that's really exciting, and it'll be rejuvenating, hopefully. So yeah, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time here drinking my iced peppermint white mocha, which it's good, but it's very pepperminty. It's giving toothpaste vibes a little bit on the first few sips, but then like after you've been drinking it a while, it tastes good. I'm so excited. I'm still like, I don't want to get too far into it, but I'm still really enjoying it. So I'm excited to see what happens next. Hi guys, I wanted to give an update because I do have a big update. I just reached the halfway point of tomorrow. I am on page 198, so that means I have about 198 and a half-ish pages left of this book. I'm still really enjoying it. I do have to be honest, this middle section right here has been a little bit slow. But I do think that the way this was written, Gabrielle Zevin has like she did a really good job of like, even though the main plot is a little slow, she throws in like subplots or pieces of like the plot from a past timeline with the same characters still. And so that kind of like, I enjoy that because it will kind of hold your attention for a little bit. But I do feel like the main plot has kind of hit a standstill, which I guess kind of makes sense. I don't know how to describe this without giving spoilers, and it is a fairly newer book, so I don't want to really get into spoiler territory, just in case anybody wants to read it. And so far I am recommending it. Just at the halfway point I am. So I don't know how much I can say, but it does talk on the back of the page that it kind of goes over a 30-year time period, and how they work together. I really, really, really loved reading them. This is not a spoiler, but I really, really loved reading about them creating Ichigo. I really loved that. Like, it had me like looking up on Etsy Ichigo merch. Like, I really, really enjoyed that. Like I said, this middle part is a little bit slow. For reference, if you have read this book and you want to know what I'm talking about, I am on the both sides part. I think it's part 4. Yes, I'm on part 4, which is titled Both Sides. And I'm about to get into part 5, which is pivots. So if you want to know, I'm near the end of part 4. So if you know about both sides, then that is the part that I'm at. I do feel like this part is a little bit slow, but I do think in the big idea of them being like work partners and how long it takes to develop their project, it kind of like makes sense that it's a little bit slow, because I mean, it had to have taken them like years, and the days probably felt like pretty slow while they were working on their project. But even though it's a little bit slow right now, depending on how the ending goes, I don't think that the slowness will affect my rating if the ending is like profound. And just based off of Gabrielle Zevin's writing, if the ending is profound, like, I don't think I will be able to, I feel like she's gonna write a good ending. And I don't think I'll be able to stop thinking about this book. I will be disappointed if the ending isn't like the beginning. If it doesn't just like sum up and like come full circle. But I don't see that happening. Like, I don't know. Her writing is just made, it feels like this was written for me almost, in a way. And while I'm reading this, I keep thinking like, this is my tastes to a T. While I'm reading this, I have the thought, I could never ever write a book. My brain could never come up with the words and the order in which to put the words to describe something like so beautifully. It's just, it blows my mind that someone's brain can tell a story like this, and it's not like just cringe. Like, I hate saying Wattpad, but at the same time I don't. Like, you know, just like anybody can write. And that sounds so bad. That sounds so bad. I'm not bashing people. If you can write a whole book and get it published, that's amazing, you know? But some, not to pit authors against each other, but like some writing just makes you like just leaves you in awe. Oh my gosh, someone like used their brain, their whole brain to write this. But it's also not like pretentious. I don't find it pretentious, this writing. I feel like it's just like it clicks with my brain, because there is like some pretentious writing in like classic books that I'm like, okay, give it a rest. Like, now none of us understand what you're saying. That is not this. I understand every word, and it's just like fully immersing me. So anyways, I'm really, really excited to know the ending, but at the same time, like, I don't know, because it's a slow point right now. I am excited for it to pick up and like finish it. But I know that once I'm done, I'm just going to be like, I hope it doesn't put me in a slump because of how good it was. I also feel like, not to be a spoiler for my own videos, but I also feel kind of bad because I'm like, when was the last time I unhauled a book for my Tackling the TBR series? It had to have been like 3 or 4 episodes ago. And I hate to say it, like, spoiler alert, I don't think I'm gonna be unhauling books in this episode either. Like, if anything, this book is going to be added to my favorites list. Based off of the part names alone, the last 3 parts, the last like 90 pages, I think are going to really be the turning point, just based off of the part names alone, which isn't spoilers. There's like a page. Let me just read this to you guys. One of the first pages is the contents, so this cannot be spoilers, okay? Sick kids, influences, unfair games, both sides, pivots, marriages, the NPC, and the last 3 right here. Our infinite days, pioneers, freights and grooves. Those 3 last parts, the last 90-ish pages, I'm predicting right now are probably going to be the ones that, I don't know, like, I don't think it's gonna wreck me, because I don't think this is a sad book. And now I'm trying to think. Okay, if you hear the vacuum, please ignore. Now I'm trying to think, have I ever watched a review where someone was crying? I can't remember. I don't think it'll wreck me like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so sad. But something tells me that it's not gonna be the ending that like you expect. I don't know, guys, I don't know. I'll keep you updated, obviously, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna continue reading just until I get to part 5, because I feel like that will be a good stopping point. I think that might be where I stop for the night. I don't know. You'll probably see tomorrow. Guys, the lighting is so bad. Who cares about the lighting, okay? Guys, immediately after I stopped filming that clip, I kept reading to get to part 5, and now I don't want to stop reading. No, I don't want to stop reading. It picked up immediately and I'm gonna cry, actually. I'm about to say a spoiler. If you have not read this, please don't listen to this next part, okay? Please. If you have read this, please listen to this next part if you have read this, okay? I am at the part, big turning point. I really did not want to include spoilers, but I have to. Big turning point. They just released both sides and it didn't get good publicity. And it's like full circle. Sadie like immediately goes into a depressive episode and Sam is like banging on her door, like trying to figure out what's wrong. Just like the first time that they reconnected. And I'm at the very, very end, like last paragraph of this part. Literally in italics, okay? The part that I'm like internally screaming over. I'm about to read this whole paragraph because it literally is like ultimate description of, I could never write something like this, okay? She shifted closer to him and she reached for the joint, palm up. Sam looked at her outstretched hand, which he knew as well as any hand except his own. The precise pattern of the lines that made up the grid of her palm, the slim fingers with the purplish veins at the knuckles, the particular creamy olive hue of her skin, her delicate wrist, pinkish, with a penumbral callus that must have come from dope, the white gold bracelet she wore that he knew had been a gift from Frida on her 12th birthday. How could she honestly think he wouldn't know about the handcuffs? He had spent hours sitting next to her, playing games and then making them, staring at her hands as her fingers flew across a keyboard or jabbed at a controller. Italics. Tell me I don't know you, Sam thought. Tell me I don't know you when I could draw both sides of this hand, your hand, from memory. No, because why am I about to cry? It's not that serious. It's not that serious. And then the next part is just gonna be called pivots. What does that mean? No, because why I'm about to stay up all night, miss the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade for this. Like, it's just so thought out. Okay, enough. I can't even promise that I'm not gonna check back in, because if I start reading in another thing, like, I will be checking in, okay? I'm now on page 213, okay? That's enough for me. Hi guys, checking in. You have reached the end of the video. I have reached the end of the video. This video is a long time coming because I picked out the first book, which was When He Was Wicked, a long time ago. I want to say it was probably beginning of November, and it took me quite a bit of time to read it, but then the second book I finished in less than a week. So that's just how it goes on this side of the internet. I'm not a very like fast reader, on average, I feel like. But when I want to read, I devour books, and right now that is the mood I'm in. So I don't even want to get ready for the day. I don't even want to get ready for the video or my next video that I'm going to start. I literally just want to read. All I want to do is read. So I took a shower and we're gonna leave it at that. Anyways, these are the 2 books that I read in this episode. The first book that I pulled was When He Was Wicked, which is one of the books in the Bridgerton series. I did not read this. I did finish it, by the way. I just never pulled the bookmark out. But I did not read this series in order. I just read the 2 copies that I have. So I do have the first one, and I believe this is the 6th one. And if I ever pull another Bridgerton slip, I don't know what I'm going to do. So love that for me. Might have to spend whatever money I have like on my Pango account, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I ended up giving this book 4 stars, I believe. I should check my Goodreads. I did end up rating this book 4 stars. I feel like I enjoyed it a lot more than I did the first Bridgerton book, but still something about it, like they are thick books, and I think it's also just the fact that it's in this like mass market paperback version that it just feels so thick that I'm just like, it's just hard to hold, hard to store. As you can see, I mean, I brought it everywhere, so there's like a little bit of damage. I don't really mind. Some people do really care about the like condition of their books. I'm not like the type of person to break the spine. I can't go that far, but like some wear and tear on the edges is okay. But anyways, I did like this one a lot more than the first one. The tension was just there. Like I do really like tension in my romance books more than like what I feel like we see in a lot of books nowadays. It's just like too instant. I like when it takes a big chunk to get there, because then when they do get there, it just feels like so much more like, I don't know. I feel more connected to them and it feels more real. I don't know, there's time and place, but I would say I tend to gravitate more towards books that have more of the pining and the tension. And especially in this era, I don't know, it hits different. It really does. But anyways, this book I would recommend to fans of Bridgerton as a whole, but would I recommend the series to people who haven't started it? I don't know. Maybe I'd have to get like further into it. But yeah, this is not an unhaul. This is actually a keep. I didn't dislike it enough to, I mean, I enjoyed it, so I didn't really dislike it at all. But also I kind of feel like collecting this series, and I'm gonna continue with that route. At least for now. So this one is a keep. Unfortunately, I'm not unhauling any books off of my shelves, but it's okay. The second book that I read in this episode of Tackling the TBR is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This one I did not draw out of the Jellycat bag, but it still counts towards the challenge because it is in the bag. I don't even know what to say about this book. I don't know where to begin. This was a highly anticipated read for me. It reached all goals that I could have set for it. 5 stars. Let's just cut to the chase. I rated it 5 stars. This is like so good. So good. Refreshing. Like the writing, like this, I mentioned it every single time I updated you, but this is like writing. It felt like written for me in a way. Like this, when I say like literature, this is literature. This is like just, I devoured it. It's been a long time that I have like been able to just pick up a book and I want to read in every spare minute. Like this was that for me. I knew I was gonna enjoy it because I read The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry and I adore that book. So I knew I was gonna adore the writing, but I didn't know how much this book held for me. Like I had heard good things. I don't even want to go into like what it really is about. The synopsis doesn't do it justice. Like, but I'm glad it doesn't, because when you read it, it just like, it's so much more than what you would expect. And yeah, I feel like I don't want to recommend it to everybody. I do, but I also don't. I feel like if you're looking for this type of writing, then I would recommend it. If you're not into like, if you're into quick, cheesy books, which there's a time and place, like I said, but if that's really all you're into, then I wouldn't recommend this. I've seen ratings and reviews on Goodreads that it can come off as pretentious. I don't agree, but I can see people going down that path based off of what they're interested in. But if you enjoy like writing that's like almost lyrical, there might be a couple words on the page that you don't know what they mean, but you'll learn them. I highly recommend this. If you're into video games or the making of video games, I recommend this. If you're into just like relationships, not like romantic relationships, but just relationships between people in general, friendships, and like what they go through, I highly recommend this. I don't know what to say. Like this, I wish I could like almost start over and reread it again. Like that is how much I love this book. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's a 5-star read for me. So far, favorite book of the year. We're in December starting tomorrow. There's nothing more I can say. I'm gonna force Ryan, my husband, to read this. There's just so much more to it that I just don't even want to get into. If you are intrigued at all by what I'm saying, please pick this up. Please and thank you. Like I said, these are the 2 books I read in this episode. They're both keepers. They will stay on my shelves and I will cherish them. But if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like me, please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. And you'll see a lot more content like this, but also, hint, I may or may not be doing Vlogmas. So you'll see those videos out soon. And yeah, leave any comment down below if you would like to. I love chatting with everybody in the comments. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.